In today's video, let's talk about how to use off-camera flash outdoor in a very subtle way. So hi everyone, this is Jiggie, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So before anything else, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel and would want to learn more about off-camera flash photography or maybe just photography in general, then this channel is for you. So you might want to consider subscribing, and while you're at it, click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to see more of my images, you could always find me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. So with that out of the way, let's talk about what we're going to be doing in this video. I will be taking you behind the scenes once again during one of my engagement shoots and show you a series of photos to explain how I actually use light in a very subtle way. Flash photography doesn't have to be overpowering the sky or overpowering existing ambient light to create dark and moody images. Sometimes it's just there to remove some of the shadows that are in existence because of the existing ambient light, or you just want a subtle pop to your images, and that's exactly what I did in this particular scene. So this was how it looked like with ambient light shot by my assistant photographer. Actually, we had beautiful existing ambient light. The beautiful existing ambient light gave us soft light because it was a very cloudy day. We were shooting in the summer capital of the Philippines in Baguio City, and normally whenever you're shooting there, it's quite foggy, so you don't get really the vibrant colors that you want in the greenery around. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted, number one, to remove some of the unwanted shadows here but still maintain the same quality of light. Try to use the existing ambient light as a hair light here and slightly underexpose the scene just to be able to bring out the colors here in the vegetation or in the plant. So this was the settings originally for this particular scene. This is f4, 1/125 ISO 100 at 70 mm. My assistant photographer used the S2 and a 24-70 f4. Now, what did I do? I had my flash here, which is the Photix Indra 500. The Photix Indra 500 is a battery-operated 500-watt studio strobe that's capable of TTL, high-speed sync, and of course manual mode in terms of flash power. And the modifier that I use is this one, the Photix Raja 65. So when I say 65, it means 65 cm. So I had it directly right here. Normally, I would want to have it in the same general direction of the sun, but in this case, I wanted to use the sun, the existing ambient light, to create that nice hair light here, and just have my light facing them just so that I can remove the shadows here in the groom's face. So I underexposed the scene slightly using my shutter speed, my ISO, and my aperture to bring out a bit of the greens, or to bring out more color from the foliage, making the greens a bit greener, and at the same time try to focus by light. Focusing by light is a technique that I normally use for me to make the subject the brightest part of the image, and by having the subject as the brightest part of the image, definitely your eyes would lead and go towards them immediately. So you could see here in the original photograph, everything is very bland or very flat. In other words, the exposure all throughout the scene is the same. We're not getting any highlights, shadows, we're not getting any obvious highlights or shadows, and that's what I wanted to create. So moving here, I shot this one with at f1.4, 1/250 ISO 100 with an A7R2 and a 50mm 1.4 lens. Sorry, I shot this at f1.4. Now, you could see that my shutter speed was beyond my flash sync speed, and I did that because I wanted to go in high speed sync and I wanted to shoot at 1.4. However, if you don't have a flash that's capable of high-speed sync at 1/1250, meaning if the flash is not powerful enough, it's always easier to just put an ND filter. But since I had my Photix Indra with me, it's 500 watts, it's more than enough for it to overpower or to power my shutter speed, or to get the exposure that I wanted at the shutter speed that I wanted to. So right now, I think I was about one stop underexposed. And this is the final image. So you could see I did slightly change the direction of the light. Instead of it coming from here, I decided to make the light come from here because that's where they were facing, and composition dictated it. Now, initially, I wanted my hair light to be here, to be seen, but you could still see it right here, a very subtle look. So if you look at the original image right here, and this is the final output, it's very subtle. In other words, I just wanted that hint of light on them, just to be able to focus the light on them, remove all the shadows in their faces, and not really change too much on how the scene actually looked like. So you could see from here, the difference is indeed very subtle. Again, from here to here. All I did was really just add a light towards her face to illuminate or to remove the shadows that are here. The hair light was supposed to be coming from here, and as you can see, because of the pose, it just didn't really come out too much, but you still had the rim light here coming from the existing natural light. Now, by underexposing the scene slightly, we were able to get the greens to be greener, and some of the flowers here to pop. And that's what I mean about subtle lighting with off-camera flash. You don't necessarily have to underexpose the scene completely. You could still use the existing ambient light that is there and just have your flash pop slightly over the existing ambient light just to focus by light, in which in this case, I underexposed the scene by about 1 stop, or maybe even just 3/4 stop to bring out the colors of the scene and create a bit of shadows. Have the light in front of them just to remove the shadows on their faces, just to illuminate the subjects so that you're focusing by light. In other words, the brightest part of the image is where you are lighting your subject. And basically that was it. I shot everything on high-speed sync, but again, you don't need to do that. All you have to do is put an ND filter if you don't have a flash that's capable of high-speed sync. Okay, so if you guys have any questions with regards to this video, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And I hope you liked this video. And if you do like the video, subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to see more of my images, you could always find me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. Okay, till the next video.